Hello there everybody, Scotia here with another Dragon Ball Sparking Zero video because as I'm sure many of you already know, we got a new Dragon Ball Sparking Zero trailer last night or yesterday or today or whatever time zone you're currently in. But yeah, the wait this time was not as long as the last, quite thankfully. Obviously we got the reveal for, the new Budokai Tenkaichi game over a year ago now I think, or around about a year ago. And we didn't get another trailer until December at the Game Awards, so it was quite a long wait between trailers and info drops. But we're only a month later and we knew that we were probably going to be getting something soon for quite a while, and then obviously it was confirmed to be at the Dragon Ball Games Battle Hour, I think it's called, which is kind of like any sports things for Dragon Ball games. I don't know, that's just kind of what I assume it is. But yeah, so we've known for a while now that this trailer has been coming, and we've known for a couple of days now that this is basically the Goku and Vegeta trailer. It's called the Rivals trailer, and I think from the start I was kind of not as interested in this trailer. Don't get me wrong, obviously I like Goku, I like Vegeta, but I think for a lot of their stuff it's kind of like a been there, seen that. I think, I wouldn't be surprised if most people kind of feel the same way. Obviously I was looking forward to the trailer and seeing how it all worked, but all the forms of Goku and Vegeta, we've seen them in so many games now and so many TV shows and films that, I just wasn't, terribly excited or super pumped for this trailer. I think I'll definitely be more interested in future trailers that show other characters that, aren't just the staple Goku and Vegeta stuff. But yeah, other than that, I thought, they all looked good. We got about 24 different characters confirmed, in terms of Goku and Vegeta's forms. Nothing really surprising. I think probably the most, shocking one, was Great Ape Vegeta, because for some reason I've seen a lot of people kind of worry that they're not going to have any Great Ape forms, which I got a bit of the concern for it, but at the same time, I don't know, I just didn't really ever see a specific good enough reason as to why people thought they wouldn't be in the game. I don't know why. I get it, there's a lot of kind of expectations and hopes and kind of childhood nostalgia and dreams kind of going into this game. But I don't know why, I really just keep seeing people, mostly on Reddit, which I guess makes sense because it's Reddit, but I keep seeing people just weirdly pessimistic about this game at times. Oh, they're not going to do this. Oh, they're not, they're never going to live up to the original. Oh, it's never, they're going to cut this and this and this. And, I say this, and I do have my own specific complaint, which I'll get to in a minute, about, mostly this trailer and my own kind of expectations about the game. But just stuff that people just weirdly just kind of pessimistic, it's going to be this, they're going to ruin the game by doing it this way, they're not going to focus on this, which was the greatest part of the original, blah 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 blah. And it's to me, Great Ape Vegeta, yeah, I've played as Great Apes, every now and then in the original. They were never my favorite characters because they're big and clunky. They're cool, but at the same time, it's yeah, I just never ever really saw a legitimate reason why people thought Great Apes weren't going to be in the game. It was just, to me, it always just seemed just pessimistic, kind of whining, negativity, oh, they're going to ruin it by not doing this or doing this, and it's just I never really thought there was good enough reason for it. But anyway, I digress. But yeah, Great Ape Vegeta, it's great to see it back. I'll just kind of go through the list quickly here, the 24 characters that they say that they revealed in this trailer. So you have Goku Z Early, Goku Z Mid, Goku Z Mid Super Saiyan, Goku Z End, Goku Z End Super Saiyan, Goku Z End Super Saiyan 2, Goku Z End Super Saiyan 3, Goku Super, Goku Super Super Saiyan, Goku Super Super Saiyan God, Goku Super Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan, that was kind of funny to say quickly there, Vegeta Z Scouter, Great Ape Vegeta, Vegeta Z Early, Vegeta Z Early Super Saiyan, Super Vegeta, Vegeta Z End, Vegeta Z End Super Saiyan, Vegeta Z End Super Saiyan 2, Margin Vegeta, Vegeta Super, Vegeta Super Super Saiyan, Vegeta Super Super Saiyan God, and Vegeta Super Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan. So quite a few tongue twisters in there, but yeah, that's basically the list that they showed off. Yeah, like I said, nothing really shocking here. I think almost everybody was expecting, all of these to make it in the game. As different forms for Goku and Vegeta. Is this all the forms we're going to get for them? I don't know. Part of me thinks yes, to be honest, because it's I don't know why you wouldn't show them off now. There are a couple obvious missing ones, Goku Ultra Instinct and all that, kind of weird that they didn't, show them in. But, they may be saving them for their own trailer later down the line, or maybe their DLC. For me, my biggest complaint, and this is what I was kind of talking about earlier, No GT, which is really disappointing. I know GT is very divisive, to put it in the nicest way I possibly can. I like GT. It's been a long time since I've really seen anything from it, so maybe I've got that kind of childhood glasses from it. But I think there was a lot of fun stuff in there, and I think there was a lot of really just interesting stuff, that stuff that, they've never really done since, in terms of like, moving characters forward and, aging them up, making them, do different things like Trunks and Goten and Pan from GT is honestly one of my favourite characters. I really like Pan a lot. I think she's a really fun character. So now I'm kind of doubting if she's even going to be in the game, It's kind of sad, but, we'll have to see how it goes. But, like no Super Saiyan 4, Goku or Vegeta, no. I mean, obviously they didn't talk about fusions either, which I think is another pretty, like, telling sign that, they're at least holding something back, because there's no Gogeta, there's no Vegito, Super Saiyan or Blue otherwise. Weird, yeah. I definitely feel like there's something missing, but at the same time, it's like I am kind of a bit like, are they actually kind of like holding something back, or are they just, or is this literally just it? And like we don't, and all the other forms, from the rest of Super and Dragon Ball, like OG Dragon Ball as well, of course. Daima, we got Daima coming out soon. I reckon Daima is probably going to be DLC if that ends up being a thing in the game. I can see anything from Daima, even maybe something like stuff from Superhero. I could see being DLC, because it's only quite recent. Like it seems like maybe the kind of furthest we'll get in terms of like modern up to date stuff is probably like Broly. So yeah, that's pretty much my like biggest complaint at the moment, is that it seems like, the GT stuff is going to more than likely be relegated to DLC, which is kind of like, I don't know, it was kind of expected, I guess. I have seen a lot of people kind of be like, oh, GT and movie stuff is probably going to be DLC, but I was hoping, at least do Super Saiyan 4 Goku and, Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. They kind of seem like the more obvious ones that kind of like, if you're going to fit anything from GT in, you can at least probably fit those two in. It's actually kind of funny, to be honest, because about an hour before they showed off this trailer for Sparking Zero, they announced the next DLC for Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, which is End of Z, so, it's like set like 10 years after they defeated Kid Buu, and it's like when Goku goes to the World Tournament and meets Oob, and then goes to train Oob, etc. Yeah, like that's the next DLC, and like, in all honesty, like that interested me way more than this trailer. And it's kind of just that funny kind of like, obviously those two games are in very different points in terms of like marketing and development and blah blah blah. Like we've already had the trailers for Kakarot where it was just nothing but Goku and Vegeta forms. Like that's already come and gone. And obviously Sparking Zero, like I get this trailer, I get why they've done this trailer. It's because they're getting the brunt of all of the like 10 Gokus, 10 Vegetas, that whole meme and that kind of whole thing that everybody kind of like loves / hates about the Tenkaichi games, was that you had like 20 Gokus and Vegetas taking up the roster. They've got that out of the way, because from now on it's kind of like, we're probably going to get like more interesting characters in terms of like, we're going to get to see more Trunks, and we're actually finally going to get Gohan revealed, who I'm shocked still we've not seen yet, which is kind of funny. But all the different Boos, the Z Fighters, Super characters, Frieza characters, Cell Sagas, androids, like Android 16, blah blah. There's a lot of other characters we've yet to see yet, and it's early days for the game. I initially thought this game might come out this year, like the end of this year, like Octoberish, but now I'm kind of like, I'm starting to think it might be next year, because we're still very early, and there's some shots in the trailer that kind of people are obviously posting and making fun of, where the game's clearly quite early. Like Goku's hair is glitching out of his body in certain shots, so I think we're still early in terms of marketing, and I wouldn't say early development, but like in terms of showing the game off, like there's still bugs clearly, so we're not in any state where it's probably still alpha, maybe beta. So it's early days, but at the same time, it's like, it's just funny to kind of like compare the two, still, and just be like, one game just did a trailer of nothing but Goku and Vegeta. It was, every form from Z, every form from Super, or almost every form from Super, nothing from GT, and, just the same stuff we see all the time for these two characters. And then you had another trailer which was like, oh, like this is the end of Z, this is the stuff that Dragon Ball still has not caught up to yet, because they just are seemingly so terrified of moving the series forward and aging every character by 10 years. Like, we're still chasing End of Z. And it's just so funny to see the two. It's like, oh, Oob, a character that like we barely see now, because he only really appears at the end of Z, where, you know, it's like not a period they're trying to avoid, but it's a period they're taking their time to catch up to. And it's, you know, like I said, it's not really fair, I guess, and I do understand it's not really fair to compare the two, but it's funny to just see that trailer, which came out first, and I like, you know, excited me so much. I literally bought the season 2 pass like straight away. Like I've still not finished Kakarot. I've tried multiple times to start it, and I think it's always about, I think it's the period of the game where you finish the Frieza saga and about to go into the Cell saga. Like that part, the pacing on that part like dies. Like it's so bad in terms of like what the game makes you do before you get to the Cell saga, and it always makes me drop the game. But you know, I love Ender Z, I love Oob, I love all that stuff. I love Pan. You know, and that kind of like slow, I guess I mean, not so much a transition to GT, but kind of like, you know, the closest we will probably get to GT at this rate. And yeah, I love that stuff. And it was like, you know what, yeah, I totally 100% I support that. I support them doing that, and, you know, finally getting to that point and covering that point. So yeah, like 100% I just went and bought the season pass, because it was like, you know, I will play that and I will enjoy it, you know, even if I never finish the main story of Kakarot. You know, from what I hear, all the DLCs are like separate things that you can play and, you know, drop in and out of at any time. So it's like, you know, I'll gladly just play that if need be, if I still can't stomach playing Kakarot all the way through. But like, yeah, it's just funny how these two trailers were just so completely different in a way. Like, so the Sparking Zero trailer was just nothing but like Goku Vegeta, Super Saiyan Blue, you know, Grade A, Super Saiyan 3, Super Saiyan 2, and it's like, yeah, I get it. You know, you needed that trailer to get that out of the way, really, but like, yeah, in terms of my tastes and my opinions and what I like about, you know, Dragon Ball, the Kakarot trailer, like, interested me way more. So yeah, that was a whole side tangent, but I just kind of wanted to point that out, because I just thought it was funny how, like, they were just so completely different trailers, and, like, the one that most people probably didn't really care about is the one that interested me, like, way more. So we'll kind of wrap this up now, because I don't have like a ton of time, to be honest, with this video. So easily the most interesting part of this trailer is right near the end, where we get, you know, a couple of shots of this kind of like hexagonal like grid that appears on the screen, and then it zooms out and we see all the characters, basically all the Goku and Vegeta transformations that were just shown off in this trailer. They get added to this board, and it fully zooms out, and we get this shot here of what is more than likely the full roster for Sparking Zero. And it was weird, I counted this out and I got 173 for some reason, but apparently a lot of people have been saying 164. I've heard some people say 165, I've heard some say 167, so I don't know why. It seems like, you know, most people can't count, but 164 is the number I've, you know, seen the most. So 164 characters in Sparking Zero. And you know what? That is actually 2 more characters than what Budokai Tenkaichi 3 had. That had 162, I think. And obviously, I've seen people kind of like complain about this, and it's kind of funny to me, because it's like, surely if you've played Budokai Tenkaichi, you know this by now. But yes, transformations are separate characters. Yeah, like Super Vegeta is going to have different moves to, you know, regular Vegeta, and Margin Vegeta plays completely differently to Scouter Vegeta, etc. You know. Like, these are all separate characters, transformations or not, even if it's like, oh, you know, well, there's 20 Gokus, yeah, but like, are you really gonna get rid of like Super Goku Mid? You know, like that type of thing. It's people who played Budokai Tenkaichi back in the day, I think they know the difference, they know the distinction between it, and it's like, you don't get to 162 characters, or 164 in this case, you know, without having like a shit ton of transformations. And that's just Goku and Vegeta. Like, Gohan is gonna easily have the most variations. Like, you think, you know, Goku has too many versions on the roster? Like, wait till we get Kid Gohan, Teen Gohan Super Saiyan, Teen Gohan Super Saiyan 2, Gohan Super Saiyan 2, you know, Great Saiyaman, and that's just Z. You know, that's just Dragon Ball Z. That's not even including Super. Like, they could easily do separate versions for Super. But yeah, anyway. So yeah, 164 characters. I think that's crazy. Like, this roster, I think, is going to be insane. Like I said earlier, though, it is that bit of a bummer that's in the back of my mind. It's like, you know, it is disappointing that we're probably not going to get much GT, because I'm looking at this. I'm looking at the roster image now, and I've seen people kind of like split it off in terms of like, I think people are saying like top left is like early DBZ, top right is like middle DBZ, so like Frieza and Cell Saga, bottom left is end of DBZ, so like Buu Saga, and then the bottom right is, you know, Super. And You know, that makes sense to me. Like, I think maybe a couple OG Dragon Ball characters will be, you know, in the top left, like maybe Kid Goku, maybe, you know, Piccolo, you know, like Evil Piccolo from DB. So, you know, we'll have to see how it goes. But yeah, I'm just looking at this and the way this is set out. It's like, man, I just don't see any room for GT in this, unfortunately. Like, I think at this point it is very likely going to be DLC. Same with movie characters, to be honest. Like, maybe I can see them putting Cooler near Frieza. You know, maybe I can see them putting DBZ Broly near, you know, the Buu Saga stuff. But yeah, I think all in all it will be a good roster. Like, obviously now we have to accommodate Super, and I think a lot of Super is going to eat into the original BT3 roster, because I remember people being like, oh, you know, they could easily kind of like put in like the whole BT3 roster and then just add Super on top, and in an ideal world they would have, but you know, I think what they're doing is impressive enough to the point where it's like, yeah, I think it was kind of obvious, like not every character from Budokai Tenkaichi 3 was going to be coming back, like at least not day one. Like Kid Chi-Chi, would be very surprised if she comes back. Like, you know, like Frieza Soldier 2 and Apule and Kui and stuff like that. Like, I think, you know, I think those characters missing this game, I think makes sense if you're going to be replacing them with characters like Goku Black and Zamasu and I don't know, a bunch of other characters from like the Tournament of Power. I actually am watching Dragon Ball Super now. I'm on like episode 50 something. Like I've only just really started the Future Trunks Goku Black stuff, so I'm a bit more familiar. To be honest, I have started watching it purely just for Sparking Zero, in the sense that, like, you know, when they start showing off more super characters, I'll like actually know who they are. Obviously I don't really know anybody from Tournament of Power yet, but you know, obviously like Kaba as well, like, you know, those characters like Hit and Beerus and maybe even Whis. You know, there's a lot of characters from Super that they have to include now, just because of, you know, Super not only is the current thing, but yeah, it's pretty well liked, and you know, more people would probably, you know, I mean, it's not even a probably. I think more people would be upset if Super characters skip this in favor of GT characters. Like GT fans, I think, are used to kind of getting kind of like not the short end of the stick, but I think GT fans are used to just being like, oh, okay, when it comes to Super or GT getting the focus, like of course it's going to be Super. Like we'll wait. So, you know, we'll wait for DLC. Like, I've no doubt they're going to do a GT pack with, like, Super Saiyan 4 Goku and Vegeta and Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, and it's going to sell fucking millions, you know, because people like me will absolutely jump at the chance to buy that. Because to me, like, the kid I am, and the era I kind of, like, got into Dragon Ball Z, which was pretty much through the games and then, you know, through the anime and all that stuff, was, like, to me, Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta is still, like, the ceiling in terms of power. Like, obviously I know Ultra Instinct is a thing and we're so, you know, far ahead in Blue and all that, but like, yeah, man, nothing, like, to me, nothing can top Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta in terms of just like, this is like the tippity top of the ceiling in terms of like, this is like the most powerful thing in the entire series and nothing can top it. So, you know, I think quite a lot of people are still with that mindset of like, you know, Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta is just, like I said, he's the ceiling, he is the most powerful thing, he's the strongest, he's the most badass, blah blah blah. So, you know, people are going to jump on that. But obviously, yeah, I think things are good. Like, I'm satisfied. Like, am I, like, 100% happy? No. But I think given the size of the roster, I think I can't complain, really. I think I'm going to be satisfied anyway. Like, if you look at this 164 character roster and you're like, man, there's no one I want to play. I think that's a you problem at this point, to be honest. You know, to be completely blunt about it. I think there's more than enough there for everybody to be satisfied. Unless you have just really niche tastes where it's like, man, this game is shit without Turles. You know, unless you're that type of person, which I feel sorry for you, but at the same time, it's like, I'm sure he'll be added eventually. I mean, this game is going to get so much DLC, you know, it's not even going to be funny. Like, we could honestly maybe even get to like 300 by the time we get to like, by the time all the DLC's done. This could easily be a 300 character roster, I feel like. Maybe not, because that is a lot of DLC, but like, I don't know, we'll just have to see how it goes. But yeah, I think, to be honest, that's it, really. Like, that's kind of all I can really talk about. I think the game looks good, still looks good. I'm still, you know, really hyped for it. Despite me kind of not being that bothered about, you know, all the Goku and Vegeta stuff, I think each form looks great. Like, Super Saiyan 3 looks badass. I really like that. I like the costumes they're showing so far. Obviously, it could just be battle damage, but I think, you know, costumes are definitely something that they can, you know, really do well with, like, because there's a lot of designs that people have. Like, one of my favourite ones is from BT3 was the costume for Goku. I think it was Goku Z End, you know, the one where he has, like, Super Saiyan 3 and all that. I think that one he had a costume where he had like Vegeta's Saiyan armor, because I think it was from when they train in the hyperbolic time chamber during the Cell Saga. Like I love that costume because it's just like Goku in the Saiyan armor was so cool to me. You know, I hope those like that stuff comes back, and obviously like stuff like the Yardrat costume, and you know, there's so much stuff that they could do as well. So. But yeah, I'll leave it here. I didn't want to waffle on too much, and obviously here I am again waffling on too much. So I'll leave things here. Hopefully we don't have to wait too long until we get another trailer. It'd be good to kind of find out more, I guess, pretty much soon. Get more character reveals going on. We'd love to see Gohan soon. We'd love to see more on Trunks. How's Trunks going to work? But yeah, I'll leave things here. Thank you all for watching, and I shall see you next time. Goodbye.
We await your return, warrior.